Okay, hey guys, so I'm gonna be filming a video based upon how I found out I was pregnant and how I had to, tell my parents I was pregnant and, all that good. If it's a little loud, if you guys can hear anything in the background, it's just my family being, their normal self. So when I found out I was pregnant, let's start off with me actually missing my period. Not really missing my period, but like, who is it? Hold on. So I forgot where I left off, but my period was really irregular. It wasn't like a regular period like every other regular girl has it, so mine was really weird. Like, I would always ask my boyfriend, like, hey, like, when is my period coming, and he would always be like, oh, it's so and so date. So he asked me, hey, like, have you gotten your period? And I was like, no. He's just like, oh, it's probably just, one of those days, like, you miss a week and then you get it. So I was like, yeah, you're right. And then my goddaughter's on the freaking door again. So I remember I was getting cramps. I was cramping every day. And it felt like regular cramps, I was just like, okay, I'm getting my period. I was popping Midol here and there, like, because they hurt. They were like, those cramps hurt. So I wasn't overdosing on Midol, but I was taking Midol, like, just trying to stop the cramp, and it wouldn't stop at all. And then there was days where the cramps were getting so bad, like, I would throw myself on my bed like a dolphin, like a straight up little fucking stick, and just go floop. Like, the day of my dad's birthday party, we went to go get watermelon. I was just like, oh, I shouldn't eat that because I'm gonna start cramping. It's just one of those Mexican theories or myths, whatever my mom tells me. Like, if you eat something, if you eat watermelon with lemon or anything, it's just one of those things that your mom tells you. Like, if you eat a certain thing when you're cramping, it doubles the chances of cramping. So I already had that in my head, but I was hungry, so I wanted some fruit. So I go to the fruit stand in the corner of my house, right? I go with my little sister and my niece, and we go get fruit, and we come back and I finish eating fruit, and boom, I got a cramp. And I'm like, oh, fuck, like, what the fuck? I pop Midol, and I like threw myself on my bed because I couldn't like tolerate the cramp. I was a dumbass. I don't know why I took a Midol, because that same night I was drinking alcohol. I was drinking beer, and liquor, and like, what a crazy night. But it was fun. And then a few days later, my boyfriend asked me, like, hey, have you got your period? And I said, no, I haven't, just haven't. And I had a gut feeling that I was pregnant because I haven't gotten my period for what, a month or two. I had a gut feeling I was pregnant. It was just, I would always bring it up to him. I was just joking around, like, oh my god, we're pregnant, and he was just like we were chilling on my bed over there, we were just chilling, and we were watching TV, and then I remembered that I was just like, hey, like, I'm craving ice cream, and like, I had like this freaking like craving ice cream and Nutella. Can you go get some? He was like, okay. I was like, while you're at it, can you go get me a pregnancy test? And he was like, okay. I was like, here, I'll give you money. He's like, no, babe, I got it. Da, 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 da. I call my little sister and I tell her, hey, can you go to the store with, with my boyfriend? And then she was just like, sure, what do you need? I was like, you're gonna go get me a pregnancy test, and you can go get me ice cream. And then she was like, what? You're gonna take a pregnancy test? Oh my god. Like, I know, like, I need to take one. I felt like they were there forever. Like, I wanted to take this test. Like, I wanted to take this test. So they come back. I tell my little sister, I was like, hey, like, be close to me. Like, I need you to be here, Like, I told her, like, wait for me in the room. Whatever. I took one at night because it comes with two of them comes in a box, and I took one at night. I had a cup, I peed in the cup, I dipped it in there, and I closed it and I set it down. It took probably like over 3 or 5 minutes to actually tell me what the if I was pregnant or not, you know. So when I got the results, it was a negative. Okay, it was a straight negative, and then I paid really close attention to it. And what that happened was that there was a very, so this is a negative sign, right? There's a very slight line going across down, and it was very, very, very light, and it was so light, and I was like, no, like, really, like, okay, like, you want to play games? Like, bitch, tell me if I'm pregnant. So, that point, I was just like, fuck, I'm pregnant. I already fucking knew. I already had a good feeling I was fucking pregnant. To top things off, I sit down in the living room. My sister's there. My sister was there. She's a year younger than me. Her boyfriend's there, and my boyfriend's sitting down. And I come out, and I'm just like, you know, my whole mood changed. Like, I was like scared. I was fucking shitting it. They're just like all staring at me. Like, I felt like everybody knew what was going on with me. So I sit down at the table, and my fucking earring hurts. So I sit down on the table, and I look at my boyfriend, and he looks at me, and then I can see from the corner of my eye that my sister's looking at him, and then I can see that her boyfriend's looking at us. Like, nigga, like, y'all up to something, like, you know, like that mysterious, like, that you want to know. I look at my boyfriend, I'm like, hey, can we like talk outside? Like, are you pregnant? And I was like, can we talk outside? And he was like his whole mood, like his whole like just persona just dropped, honey. I showed my boyfriend outside. He was like, so you're not pregnant? And I'm like, we don't know, you know, I'm gonna take the other one in the morning. And then he was just like, why don't you just take it right now? And I was like, because it's a higher chance that we might know what it is in the morning because of the pH levels or something. I don't know about morning. It's like what makes you think you are? And I was like, well, if you pay close attention, actually pay attention, if you look closely, you can see that there's a very slight line going under, you know. He's like, no, you're not pregnant, you know, I'm not fucking pregnant, okay? That's what he believed. I'm not pregnant. Alright. My sister had told me a few days after that her boyfriend already had a feeling that something was going on. So he was like looking at us weird. Like, I remember everything was off. All our vibes were off. Like, my vibe was off and his vibe was off. So next morning, as soon as I woke up early, I woke up like at 6 in the morning. And I took that test. I peed in a cup, dipped it, set it down real quick, wiped myself. I look at it to see if it was ready. I looked at it within 5 seconds. I looked at it, and it was, you know, it was positive. So it was positive. It was straight positive. So then I'm like, no, this can't be real. Like, girl, like, I go like, I tried waking myself up. Like, you still asleep. Like, my eyes are so chinky. Like, I was half asleep when I took this thing, so I look at it again, and I just sat there, and I started crying. I started crying and crying and crying and crying, and I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I started thinking. I remember that I came into my room, and I thought of checking on the other one, the one I had took last night. So I looked at it again, and I was like, why is it positive? Next day, you know, like, it showed a positive. I'm like, holy fuck. And I just sat there and I was crying on my bed. So I go upstairs, and I'm waking up my little sister, you know, and I'm like, hey, like, wake up. Like, I'm crying right now. I'm like, hey, wake up. Like, wake up. She's like, like, I'm pregnant. And then she's like, you're what? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. Oh my god, like, what did I do? Like, I'm asking a 15-year-old, right? And she's like, let me see. She's like, it's wrong, like, it's wrong. Like, you know, like, yesterday I said you weren't. And I was like, both of them say I am. And she's like, no, like, it has to be like, it has to be like a defect. Like, if this, we have to go buy another one. I was like, no. Like, they're both positive. Like, the other one showed a positive today. Like, I'm pregnant. So then, the bitch goes on her phone. So she goes on her phone, she's on Google, she's searching up all this little shit, thinking, she's trying to find something to prove that that my pregnancy tests were wrong. She's like, what are you gonna do? Like, what do you want to do? Like, she's already scared for my life, right? And then I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm just like, at this point, like, she's kind of calming me down, but I'm like still crying. She's like, are you gonna tell Ale, which is my younger sister, the one a year younger than me? And I'm like, I don't know, should I just like go? And then like I'm waking her up and she's like, what do you want? Maybe I fucking work at an hour. Da, da, da. I'm pregnant. She's like, what? I'm like, I'm pregnant. And then she's like, no, you're not. Stop fucking joking. Like, I'm trying to go to sleep. And I was like, I'm not joking. I'm pregnant. And like, I'm crying to this bitch, right? And she's like, bitch. Oh my god. Wait, is this true? And then my little sister's like, yeah, she is pregnant. Like, fuck. Like, we have to be here to support her. Da, da, da. My sister was like, are you gonna have an abortion? Like, that's the first thing she says, right? That's like the first thing she says. And I'm like, no, like, I don't know what to do. Like, she's like, well, you're gonna have to have one. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my god, is she right? Like, am I going to have to? She's like, are you even stable enough to have one? Like, you know, popping on these damn ass questions. Like, she's like, what are you gonna do? Like, you have to have an abortion. Like, my other sister was like, you don't fucking tell her what to do. Like, let her think that. Like, if she wants to have one, she will have one, you know? And she's like, shut up. Like, she needs to, like, what the fuck? She's young. And then they're bickering back and forth, you know? And I'm like, they're crying. Like, the 15-year-old, she was like, shut the fuck up. Like, bitch, like, don't tell her what to do. Like, she's not gonna have one. Like, let her keep the baby. And then my other sister's like, wow, like, if that was me, I would have fucking aborted that shit. And I'm like, okay. And it came down to telling my boyfriend. I don't remember too much on how I told him. I really don't. It's just such a blur. We wanted to be sure, 100% sure that I was pregnant. So we went to the doctor, right? He talked to me the whole ride over there. Oh, and they tell me, like, I go pee in a cup, they go test it, and tell me, like, oh my god, you're pregnant. And I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, although I knew I was pregnant, I was scared to find out again that I was pregnant. Okay, I remember some parts right now. Because when I ride over there, he was like, oh, my homie, like, you know, his girlfriend took, like, the pregnancy test. They both were positive, and they go to the doctor, and they said that it was a negative, like, she wasn't pregnant, and whatnot. It's like, he had this whole, like, little theory in his head that it was going to be negative when we get there, and I wasn't pregnant. And he found out that I was pregnant again. He was like, are you sure? And I was like, duh. He wasn't ready to accept the fact that he was going to be a dad. He's not a bad guy. He's not. It was just in total shock. Like, he wasn't ready. I texted my sister and I told her, like, hey, like, can I tell you something? She's like, what? And she's like, I was like, I'm pregnant. And she's like, stop lying. I'm gonna try to pull up the messages if I can find them. It was like around 11:30. I was like, Fabi. She was like, yes. I was like, I'm pregnant. Don't tell anyone yet, please. And she was like, stop playing. I was like, I'm not. You know, she's like, are you serious? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna keep it, not keep it? I was like, yes, I'm serious. At this time, I was already thinking about keeping it. You know, I'm so against abortions, and I hate the fact that people actually give, you know, they abort their kid. Like, you know, it's a little fetus, and like, you're creating that. Like, I don't know. I just didn't. We had our options open, obviously, but I just had that gut feeling that I didn't want to abort it at all. She was like, honestly, I want it better for you. I love my kids, don't get me wrong, but I wish I could have waited and had them at this age that I am right now. She's like 26 or 27. She's like, I could have enjoyed life more. I'm here for you, whatever you decide. And when you decide to talk to my parents, talk to my dad first if anything, just not today. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, just speaking from experience. It's hard, trust me. I was like, I don't want to be pregnant right now either, but I'm not aborting. I don't want to abort. It's like, I understand what you're saying. I'll talk to him tomorrow then. Say thank you. She's like, how far along are you? And I was like, I'm less than 12 weeks. They just did blood work and stuff. They're like, she was like, I always found out after 3 months. I was like, I just feel really nauseous. I was feeling really nauseous, you know. He didn't talk. I don't want to make him sound really like such a fucking douchebag or a jerk. He was there, you know, but he wasn't communicating with me like verbally, you know. He wouldn't talk to me for 3 days. We would talk, we would text and call each other and be like, you know, like, I don't know how to tell my mom, like, I don't know how to tell my dad, da 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 da. So he was like, I'm gonna tell my mom, you know. So he's breaking the news to his parents. If I knew like his parents weren't gonna be supportive, like, I would have been crushed, like, because I knew that it was gonna be hard for me to kind of break the news, you know. I mean, they were upset, but you know, they were like, a child's always a blessing, you know. He was more worried about not getting the full support from his side, so that's why he wasn't really communicating with me. We were just talking. They wouldn't even tell your parents. I was like, I don't know. Like, my dad's dinner was coming up. It was his birthday dinner. I started feeling sick, like sick to my stomach. Like, I couldn't eat anything. Like, just finding out that I was pregnant, and then I had to tell my parents, like, everything just kind of mixed up, and I just started feeling nauseous. Like, I started getting all these symptoms of being pregnant. We were having my dad's birthday dinner, right? And I remember I wanted to tell him that day, but I didn't want to because I didn't want to ruin his day. Being there, my sister's like, are you not hungry? I'm like, no, like, I can't eat. And, you know, my mom's like, you're not eating no more? I'm like, no. I came home because I didn't feel good. So I left dinner early. I came home with my brother and his girlfriend. My brother forgot to kind of validate his ticket. So he leaves and I'm like, hey, Marcia. She's like, what? I was like, I'm pregnant. She's like, you're lying. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not lying, you know. And she's like, oh my god, your baby's gonna be so cute. And I'm like, my child is gonna be beautiful, you know, like beautiful. And I'm like, just don't tell my brother yet. Da, da, da. They started passing by, and it came down to, you know, me telling my dad that I'm pregnant. Came from work. Hey, can I talk to you? And like, I was already nervous. He's like, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, he has his beer in his hand. I'm like, I'm pregnant. He's like, no salgas con tu chingaderas. And I'm like, I'm not. And I started crying. You know, like, with a kid comes with big responsibilities. Da, 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 da. I'm like, I know. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, what do you do? What are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna have an abortion? What do you want to do? Do you want to keep it? Because either way, it's gonna be a hard choice, and it's gonna be a very, very, very like rough path. Either decision you make. And he was like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. And he was like, well, I'm gonna give you 2 weeks, and you tell me what you want to do. So he started telling me, like, if it's a boy, like, I want him to come gardening with me, you know, like, all those little cute things. And if, you know, and if it's a girl, then, like, it's gonna be my little princess, you know, like, telling me all these cute things. And I'm just, like, crying, and I'm, like, laughing. I'm crying all scared, and I'm laughing at the same time, you know, that laugh, being nervous, and, you know. So then I was like, he's like, don't tell your mom yet, because your mom is bizarre, da da da. I'm like, all my sisters knew besides my brother. I was really, really fearful of telling my brother. There's times where I would come back from a doctor checkup, and my mom was like, I was wearing a dress, and my mom was telling her friend, because we just got couches, you know, we're getting our couches removed to go get them, you know, refurnished or whatever. And she was like, oh, like, she shouldn't be pregnant right now, but if she is, like, you know, that's her decision, da da da. I'm like, we had another family get together, and it was during the day, and I was trying to eat. I was hungry and I was trying to eat, but I couldn't really eat. So I shared my food with my sisters. I had this family friend, and she came. She was like, hey. And the older sister's like, oh, does she know? I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, no, what? You're pregnant. And I'm like, she's like, oh my god, congrats. Like, do you know what you're having? I'm like, no. There's times where I would get like little remarks here and there. I don't know if they were true or not, but they would bring me down so much. Like, I would cry by myself. Like, nobody knew that besides my boyfriend. Like, I would cry. And just thinking about it, like, it really hurt me. My older sister, she's like, oh, like, your sister's being such a two-faced, like, you know, she's going back and forth, like, telling you to keep the baby, and then she's telling my dad not to, and then my dad's like, you know, agreeing, like, he wants an abortion, and like, I'm just sitting there like, whatever. So I just got up and I kind of like just went in my room and I started crying, and I couldn't stop crying. I called my boyfriend. I'm like, can you just come here and like please? And he's like, okay, I'm on my way, babe. I was just so emotional. Like, I was just so emotional. Like, I couldn't stop crying. Although I wanted to stop crying, I couldn't stop crying, like, because the bitch is pregnant. So then he was like, no, it's okay, baby, like my family are here, you know, like, you don't know what they're saying, like, don't take it, don't stress out too much, you're pregnant, like, you don't need that right now. And I'm like I kind of calmed down, but I was still crying. And yeah, my brother ended up finding out. My family friends talking to him, my sister's talking to him, you know. And then I'm sitting on the table. I kind of knew that they were like, they're just looking at me and talking, and I'm like, fuck, like, I have to do that right now, like, no, come on. I get up and I go to my older sister, and I go to my brother, and my brother, he's like, oh, you know, my sister's like, oh, you know, Danny knows. And then like, I'm like, I looked at him and then looked down. He's like, yeah, like, I know, like, I don't know why you don't want to tell me, like, why don't you talk to me, like, you know, I'm your brother. And I'm like, I just started crying, and I'm like crying. And then he's like, I'm gonna be there to support you girls. Like, I don't know why you girls don't talk to me. Like, I'm not hard to talk to. And then I'm just like stuck, and like, he's like, I love you girls, you know. And my sister's like, hug her, like, she's crying. And I'm like so sentimental, like, I love you too. And then my older sister, she looks at me, she's like, oh my god, like, I'm gonna start crying. She starts crying. And then my brother-in-law comes over here, which is her husband. He was like, you know, we love you, we'll support you, like, if you need anything, like, just come to us, like, we'll be there. And all my siblings knew. So it was a relief, and my dad knew, you know, when it came down to telling my mom. It was July 18th. So we went from June 26th to July 18th. And my mom found out that day, you know. Sister texted me at 9:36. I was like, my mom knows. She took it quite well, better than when she found out about me. I was like, what did she say? She was like, my dad said that she was not going to kick you out, but she's very mad at David. I don't know why, but my dad wants him here to support you and my mom wants you to tell her. My mom wants you to tell her. He said her reaction was way better with you, like, way better. I told you she might take it different. I was like, oh fuck, like, when I read this, I was like, holy fuck, she's furious, like, she wants me to fucking die. Like, is she mad? She's like, no, she says she loves you and that she'll be nice to David for you. It wasn't what I expected it to be. She was really calm. She was giving me motherly advice. You know, she was gonna say it was gonna be hard, everything's gonna change. I got up, she's like, well, congratulations, guys. I love you too, David. And, you know, it was cool. Yeah, my family knew. There's sometimes where my mom kind of threw remarks at me, and I did cry. I'll go in the bathroom. My sister would come, she would make me feel comfort. You know, I never had my sister to give me that comfort. You know, my older sister went before me. Babby, like, I don't think I would be fine right now because she really did help me a lot, like a lot. I don't know, there was nights where me and my boyfriend would be in the car and we would literally sit there and just think like, what did we really want to do? But we're having a baby. I'm happy. It's scary. There's days where I wake up and I'm changing and I look at my belly and I'm like, oh, you're pregnant. You pregnant. You not that you pregnant. But we're having a baby and I'm excited. Really excited. And I've always been the one as a young child. I've always knew, I've always wanted a family. I've always wanted babies. I've been surrounded by babies and I want my own baby. And now that I'm having my own baby, I'm a little us running around now, having a half me, half him running around, it's just crazy. I'm so excited. Yeah, we'll see what this little bundle of joy is.